And hello, hope you are doing well. Terry Brock here, and I wanted to welcome you to another episode where we're going live here, talking to you about some exciting things that matter to entrepreneurs who believe in that freedom lifestyle, agorapreneurs. And we're going to talk about that. I got something special today that I want to talk with you about that's real important. It's a program, or a book actually, that I read again today, and I got some extra notes on it. I want to share some parts of that with you. And it's based on an interview that I had recently with John Lee Dumas. His book is called The Common Path to Uncommon Success. And matter of fact, we've got that out now, and you can see that interview over on platform of your choice, YouTube, etc. You get it. And also, I wrote a lot about content myself in the places, and I want to share that with you. You can find out about that and get that free course that I have on creating content. That's what John is talking about in a portion of that book. And you can find out about some ways to create content on your own too. Go to terrybrock.com/5K. And by the way, notice the K is in lowercase. You can do that there and you'll be able to see that. But I wanted to show you some of the things that are there. In the interview that I did with John, we covered a lot. I talked about it and really made the comparison that what he did is similar to what Napoleon Hill did years ago in the book Think and Grow Rich. Well, Think and Grow Rich is a great book that tapped into the minds of some really brilliant people, what they did for success. And John has done that in his book, and he does that regularly in his regular podcast called Entrepreneurs on Fire. It is a very popular one. It at one time was the only podcast that went 7 days a week interviewing entrepreneurs. Now there's a few others, but I'd say he's got an outstanding podcast. I'm watching it and listening to it myself and really enjoying it enormously. I would encourage you to look into it. John himself is a guy that has a great background in many different areas and has taken those areas, much like you can do in your work, and turned them into a success. And he did that in this book. He lays out the step by step strategies. I got to tell you, I've read a lot of books. I find that this is one of the best for step by step. Here's how you do it, and the inspiration to make it happen. He does that very well in that book, and I would encourage you to take a peek at it. One of the quotes that I talked about in the interview that I had with him, he says, when you try to resonate with everyone, you'll resonate with no one. And so when you're trying to reach and please everyone, you're not going to do well. So what you want to do is you want to be a lot more focused. As you're focusing, you're going to find that you'll be able to get a lot more done as you work with different kinds of content, and you get better at that all the time. And so you can do that. And I would encourage you to take a look at what is available with that. And by the way, one of the things that you'll want to do is create that content as you are. A good tool that I'd like to use, I'm using right now, matter of fact, is Restream. This gives me the ability to send out my message to up to 30 different platforms, 30 different destinations, all at the same time. And you're able to take your message, get it out there to people, let them see what's going on and how it's happening, be able to see the kinds of features that are out there in many different platforms. I particularly like this because what you're doing is with Restream, you're not saying, hey, everybody, come over to this one place, like for instance, Facebook. Maybe you got a Facebook group, or to YouTube. But what you can do is you rather say, you can see it in many different areas. So you could see that in one area, you could see it in another. Right now, I'm going out to LinkedIn and to Twitter and to Facebook, all at the same time, and YouTube, all at the same time doing it because we're using Restream. And to get Restream, here's my affiliate link on that, bit.ly Restream for you. And when you do that, you're going to get a $10 credit. So you'll get that toward it if you go to the paid plan. The free plan is what I'd recommend start with, and then gradually build from there to see what it's like and see what is working best for you and what will be the right one for you to work with. But I think that you'll find that that is a great little tool. I'm using Restream a lot now, really enjoying the capability that it has, and more and more. The more I use it, the more I'm liking it and working with it. So I'm going to look at that. But what I want to do right now is I want to go over here to the book itself, and particularly to chapter 8. And I'm just going to beam over here so that I can be right here with you as I talk about it. And we take a look at chapter 8 in his book on creating content. And he says, they use this quote here from Lee Odin, a guy that's really, really knowledgeable on creating content. I've always enjoyed his work. I got a chance to meet him briefly at a Speak and Spill event up in Toronto a little while ago. But he says, content isn't king, it's the kingdom. It's really what you want to focus on. And I think that is a real key for us. You want to create that content. That's why my copy of making sure that you get on those content with terrybrock.com/5K, my 5K content creating course, really gives you the ability to get, well, a lot done. And you're able to learn how to create the content and how to make it happen in a profoundly good way. So he talks about that there. And matter of fact, what I'm doing right now is I got my iPad sitting right next to me here. And what I'll do is I'm going to go through this chapter and show some of the highlights that I made on there. I like what he says here. What separates the entrepreneurs who fade into obscurity and those who find uncommon success, what could that be? Consistency. Not for a week, not for a month, but for years. And I have to put an exclamation mark behind that one. The key is going to be consistently you're there. Consistently you're out there to see what people are talking about, to give them information. And I find that doing that in a live stream, by the way, is a real good way to do it also. That's why I really like the Restream thing. The more I've been getting into it, I gotta tell you, this is just a really nice experience. It's a little different than I still do the content production like I did yesterday and put out a video, which you want to go over there to take a look at Agorapreneurs. There on YouTube, you'll be able to see it's the only one with Agorapreneurs because, hey, that's what the name was that I came up with. But you'll look at that and you'll be able to see about creating the content, and really good thing to do. Here again is that link you'll want. It's terrybrock.com/5K. terrybrock.com/5K. And that'll give you the ability to take a look at that, see what it's like, and see how it works. As we look here at the book and what he says, going over here and some other things, I wanted to highlight this here. He says, before, you didn't have your why, so you defaulted to the easier option, not doing the work. Now you default to your only option, doing the work. And I like that. He talks about getting that imperative, something that you know you've got to do. You just have to do it. You have to make it happen. And when you have that, you do very well. In the book here, he talks about how that happens many times with children. You have that child and your whole life changes. Now, I don't have any children, but I've found that it's a very similar thing when you get kids. Your time is definitely taken. From what I hear from my friends that are raising kids, particularly young, small children, they find that that really makes a big difference in their time, where they can spend their time, how they're going to live, and what they're going to do as I move back over here. So that's going to be a factor. You got to look at content the same way. And he thinks of the why, and you rise above it and create. The higher the obstacle, the lower the competition. That's one you might want to get a screenshot on and tweet that. The higher the obstacle, the lower the competition. I think that makes a whole lot of sense because when you have something that makes your why, you've got to get out there and do it. And something that is very difficult to do, there's not as much competition out there. Not as many people are going to do it. So when you find that something is really, really challenging, really, really difficult, hey, that can be a real good thing also because it forces you then to up your game. I find that when I can find something that helps me to up my game and do better, then I feel better about it all the way around. So that's another thing here on the creating content. And I like what he says here about systems. This is something I keep finding over and over is really, really important. He realized the system was successful because I had mastered three things. Get this, my productivity, my discipline, and my, here's that word again, focus. I decided to identify why these three traits were so important and how I could continue improving in each area. Creating that content on a regular basis requires a lot of discipline, a lot of focus. And as you do that, you're going to find that you can do so much more building that content, strengthening those discipline muscles. I'm finding, hey, I thought I was disciplined before, and I'm finding how little I have. And I have to get out there and do it more. And you know, that's a good thing. Because when you can say, hey, I got to get out there, I got to do more, I'm going to figure out the systems to make me do what I need to do, both in the physical area, as well as the mental area, as well as your business. Identify those key areas. They're going to help you to succeed and to achieve the goals that you want. And so I would recommend that. On the productivity, he talks about the discipline and all that. He says, by eliminating the above discipline of winning tomorrow, today, I curbed my distractions, suffocated my procrastinations, I love that phrase, and I started working on what mattered. I think as we can do that, and we work on those three areas, we're going to be able to achieve much more. We get the kind of success we want when we focus and get disciplined in those areas and make sure that we're not being distracted by other means. Focus on the content and get out there and go for it. And get over there and let me know what you think of that content, the kind of strategy that we have. This little thing right here, the content is going to be something that can help you a lot as you're working on. Make that a little bit bigger there for you so you can see it a little more clearly. terrybrock.com/5K. It's a free book, and there's videos with that as well. They will help you to get ahead and help you to achieve the goals that you want and to see the kind of success that's going to be helpful for you. A big thanks to our sponsors, the Restream folks. And Restream, again, is a product that I heartily endorse. I'm using it, and because I liked it and see the benefits of that, I want to tell others about it and give you a benefit to get that as well. And if you do sign up for Restream and you get that through my program, please let me know, because I'm putting together some material. I want to make that available to those who have purchased Restream, who are using it, and will be able to get some more real solid benefit out of that and working with it. So thank you for joining me today. I will look forward to hearing from you. Please leave a comment below. And even if you're catching this on the recording, by all means do that, and then we'll be able to catch up with you a little bit later. Have a wonderful day, and I wish you much continued